Welcome back, all you sports and gambling fans out there. Today, I'm going to be talking some NFL today. And yeah, it's a little too early to speculate about what could or will happen in the season, but I'm sure we can at least get a clue or a hint of an idea of what we could expect to see. All right, let's start this one off by looking at the NFC West and how things have been shaken up a bit. All right, starting this off, we have the San Francisco 49ers, who are at plus 3,000 to win the Super Bowl. And thanks to a power struggle with the front office, the Niners decided to not bring back their incredibly successful head coach, Jim Harbaugh, who said that he would have stayed if welcomed. Instead, Harbaugh is now coaching his alma mater, Michigan. No other than Seattle's coach, Pete Carroll, said that he was rather happy to see his rival leave the division. The Niners' replacement was rather uninspiring, the team's defensive line coach, Jim Tomsula, whose first media appearance was an epic disaster. Maybe he's a good coach, but most believe that Tomsula is simply a yes man to the front office. Former Niners defensive coordinator Vic Fangio had a much better resume, but he also was allowed to leave for Chicago. Now, as for the players' losses, gone for sure are excellent running back Frank Gore and one of the league's better guards in Mike Iupati. Now, cornerback Chris Culliver also is expected to sign elsewhere. Receiver Michael Crabtree could be out also. Then Monday, the team got the shocking double whammy of the reported retirements of all-pro linebacker Patrick Willis and the anchor of the defensive line, Justin Smith. That Smith is calling it quits really isn't much of a shock, as he's going to turn 36 this September. However, Willis, he's still in his prime. I mean, he's age 30 right now. The seven-time Pro Bowler was heart and soul of the defense since winning the Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2007. Apparently, unfortunately, I would say, Colin Kaepernick will stick around amid the rumors that the Niners gauged the market for him. And thus far, the only major signing has been the former Cardinal defensive tackle Darnell Dockett. Good player, but a bit past his prime. The club looks exponentially worse than it did a year ago. Next up on our list, we have the Seattle Seahawks at plus 750, and it's rather amazing how well run the Seahawks are. They didn't lose a ton of their Super Bowl team from 2013 season, and it doesn't appear that any super important pieces from last year's club that lost in the Super Bowl to New England will be leaving either. The big question was, and will always be for this team, I guess, Marshawn Lynch. But the Seahawks actually locked him into a one-year, $11 million extension. Pretty smart, because there's a lot of tread left on those tires, though I don't expect Lynch to be back in 2016. The only significant loss has been cornerback Byron Maxwell, but he was widely overpaid by Philadelphia. So the Seahawks simply stole a cornerback from Philadelphia in Kerry Williams, in addition to adding cornerback Will Blackman from the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Seahawks just reload, and with the Niners taking a major step back, I don't see how the NFC West isn't Seattle's again in 2015. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals, who bookies have at plus 3,300 to win the Super Bowl. Now, as of yet, the Arizona Cardinals have not addressed a big need at running back, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to do that sooner rather than later. Now, they have been, or there has been a rumor that they have been interested in former Cowboy DeMarco Murray, who was last season's league rushing leader. They also might be looking at former Bills tailback C.J. Spiller, or even Minnesota's Adrian Peterson, but I guess everybody's going to be out for Peterson if the Vikings let him free. Now, the Cardinals' big addition thus far has been guard Mike Iupati. Just 27, he's three-time Pro Bowl selection. Iupati is just a so-so pass blocking, but one of the league's best run blockers, and that's where the Cardinals needed most of their help. Now, Arizona also re-signed wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald. The team did cut defensive tackle Darnell Dockett and probably will lose free agent cornerback Antonio Cromartie. Now, if the Cards get a top running back to add to a healthy quarterback Carson Palmer, Fitzgerald and fellow receiver Michael Floyd, look out, because that defense is already excellent, even with the loss of coordinator Tom Bowles. And last but not least, we have the St. Louis Rams at plus 5,000 to win the Super Bowl. Now, the Rams might have been the quietest team in the league thus far. All they've really done of note is waive offensive tackle Jake Long and center Scott Wales. Those deals freed up about $12.5 million in salary cap space, giving the Rams a total of about $16 million in room. Now, apparently, St. Louis is more focused on re-signing most of its own free agents. The Rams are going to give injury-prone quarterback Sam Bradford one more year to prove himself, although surely at a restructured contract. Now, I can't believe that the Rams didn't add a receiver. At minimum. I mean, maybe that's kind of what they're going for in the draft. I don't know. At least the defense looks set. Now, I know that there's a lot of teams that we covered on this one, but, I kind of have to put my money and faith in the Seattle Seahawks. There's really no other competition in this division. San Francisco just doesn't have what it takes. They're still relying too much on that quarterback, which I don't have any faith in. They lost Jim Harbaugh, which was really the main head there, and they're now putting their faith in another coach that really nobody has any trust in. Anyways, I'll definitely be back with more NFL news and some odds. Till then, for SBR Picks, this is Dax Floyd.